The Phillies and Diamondbacks are playing for a trip to the World Series. Breaking it all down right here on The Gambler. This is the NLCS postgame show.
Of course, it's never easy, but still a win is a win, and the Phillies get it done. Game 1 of the NLCS goes to the Fightin' Phillies. It is the post-game show here on The Gambler at Fox PHL Gambler. And yeah, we're taking your call, 610-784-2088. My name is Jon Jansen. Joining me in studio, our Phillies insider, Luke Arcaini. And also in the studio at home, Sean Brace, our fearless leader here at The Gambler. A little bit of cardiac arrest, heart palpitations, but a win is a win, Luke. A win is a win. Harper, Castellanos, Realmuto, all able to do their thing, but not great at times. Still a win.
A win is a win, right? That's all you need in the playoffs. And this offense, man, just they are raking. Schwarber, first pitch, 117 miles an hour off the bat.
Well, I think we need to be more specific. They're mashing. I need them to rake more with runners in scoring position.
On a legendary pace. Like, they are the first team in playoff history to hit 12 home runs in 3 playoff games.
See, I love that.
They are mashing the baseball. Like no other team has.
Maybe sometimes knock some runners in when they're in scoring position. Just sometimes. Just like once or twice.
2 for 10.
Able to do that.
2
not
for
great.
10 is not good.
I don't like that.
But
what do you think about 2 for 10, Brace? What do you think about 2 for 10?
Well, I don't feel you guys you guys are kind of like a win is a win. Like, we're talking about Eagles week 3 here. This is first 1 to 4 here. There's 7 more to go, right? Like, of course, a win is a win. I did not think, I wasn't concerned one bit. I get maybe in the back of your mind what happened in game 2 in Atlanta is probably creeping, and it's like, man, especially with Wheeler on the mound here, but still, I never thought for 1 second that the Phillies were ever in jeopardy of not winning this game. The bats came out in full force in inning number 1, and man, as long as you continue to put 1 through 9, any one of those guys up, everybody got involved today, but it's just like, as long as you're able to get those guys hot at the back end of the order, and you get, of course, Schwarber going, mixed in with Harper and Castellanos and the tear that they're on, I got full belief. My optimism is through the roof right now for this Philly squad with what we're seeing right now.
And it should be. To me, it would have gotten dicey, and it was a big hit for Realmuto in the 5th to get that single to make it 5-0. Because if he doesn't get that, and this game ends up becoming 4-2, 4-3. Then it's getting dicey. Then I'm not feeling great. So that Realmuto, all the credit to him. I think that was a big run in this game.
And that gives the Diamondbacks a thought that they have life, right? A 4-0 game is a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's easier to come. It feels a lot easier to come back when it's 4-0 than it is 5-0, right? It only seems like one run, but a 4-0 game is extremely reachable for these teams. So for Realmuto to do that, it's huge for them. Some big outs late in the game from Craig. We know Craig never makes it easy, right? It's always a whirlwind with Kimbrel, but he got the job done, right? And he continues to do that in the playoffs. Jose Alvarado now, he has 19 career playoff appearances. 15 of them have been scoreless. So it's just unbelievable from Alvarado that just comes in and just mows through Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, and Pham, and all these guys. He's been unbelievable. Just an absolute ringer for the Phillies bullpen.
Yeah, and they needed it. They needed some big outs when he came in because they were getting into some jams. I'll give Arizona credit. They were getting the Phillies pitchers in some jams, tough spots to get out of, especially with Sir Anthony Dominguez, but then you bring in Jose Alvarado and closes the door on that. So I think the bullpen, again, excellent day. Kimbrel, I would hope it'd be a little bit easier, but I don't think he pitched too poorly in that last inning. But I think the start of it is, obviously the home runs and Harper, Castellanos, and those guys, and Kyle Schwarber leading it off. But to me, another Zach Wheeler gem. Like there is nothing more calming. It helps when you get that leadoff home run. because everything I think is relaxed after that leadoff home run. But to me, again, your ace showed up and did ace stuff. And that is, to me, in game one of the biggest things that could have happened is shutting the door on that really good Arizona lineup for the first, 4 or 5 innings.
Yeah, I mean, Wheeler's been unbelievable, right? We've talked all about Wheeler. We talked about Wheeler earlier today. He's been unbelievable for this team. I still believe now even after that game tonight, he still holds the lowest whip in playoff history. Like that is like, I can't even
I can't.
Because
like, most of the names on that list, by the way.
I know, and be like, that's a great stat. Dude, he's beaten Mariano Rivera, Sandy Koufax.
Yeah. Either legends or relief pitchers and that he's going up against. And
he's beating relief pitchers that come in and throw an inning a game.
But I know Brace doesn't want to talk about pitchers too much. Brace wants to talk about the home runs.
I'll get right into Wheeler, because you know what the crazy thing is from our discussion earlier today was what type of hits he was going to let up. And the number was 3.5. Well, guess what? He went 6 full innings and only gave up 3 hits. Dude, it's just insane right now. And of course, he gave up that home run. Yeah, gave up that home run, which was, a tough spot, but again, just able to bounce back and get the ball to the bullpen. 8 strikeouts coming into this one. 6.5 was his prop on DraftKings Sportsbook. We hit on it all. Look, I definitely was not one to say take the under on 3.5 as far as hits is concerned, but we definitely talked about going over the 6.5 as last time out against Atlanta Braves. In that lineup, he struck out 10. So I thought definitely he could get to that number. He did. Dominant performance, but you're right. Look, for me, Schwarber setting the tone right from the jump with that home run. And you knew, like, if that's how it's going to start, okay, let's have some fun. And then Harper comes up. And, of course, everybody in the whole Delaware Valley and beyond, Roy Burton texted us, was a part of that DraftKings prop where, oh, by the way, they bumped it up $200 to like $625. Again, you can only put $25 max on, but it pushed you to take it. As like I put my hand in the air, I was on total bases. I said, all right, let's take a flyer on Harper home run. Bang! Cash in the first inning. 3.5 home run total. We cashed in a big way.
Fourth
good betting night here.
Fourth player in Major League Baseball history to hit a home run on his birthday in the postseason.
Happy birthday, Bryce.
Happy birthday. And I love how the announcers were like, oh, the number 4 for how many home runs he hit this year. But yeah, I love how the announcers put up the 3-1 for the 4, and they were like, "Oh, that's 4 for his home runs?" No, it was 31, his age. Announcers. I'll tell you what, the announcers aren't biased. Like, I don't think it's any of that. They're just not good.
No, they're not.
I don't think the TBS announcers are really.
I miss Joe Davis.
I do. I miss Joe Davis a lot.
Bryce Harper having the birthday of his life.
That's the thing. Everything was of his life because he's used that a lot. But yeah, Bryce Harper coming up with a big home run. Kyle Schwarber, there's a lot of things that parallel last year's postseason run. And that's all the way down to how they're winning these games, when they're winning these games, the guys that are coming up in certain series. And here's Kyle Schwarber, who didn't hit anything in the NLDS last year. It didn't hit anything in the NLDS this year. And he comes up, first plate appearance, first pitch from Zach Gallen. They're talking about Zach Gallen, the ace. This guy's a great pitcher. He's phenomenal.
I bet.
And the first pitch, 92 miles an hour, and it launches 117 miles an hour off Kyle Schwarber's bat, 420 feet in the damn air. And he hits a home run. But I don't know what the mojo is or how this is all repeating itself, but guys, it's repeating itself over and over again, these playoff runs, and I can't explain that. I have no idea how to explain that.
It's pretty simple. Kyle Schwarber's just a winner. That's kind of what everyone's been saying right the last year and a half. He hits them when it matters. He didn't need to go out and hit 3 home runs in the NLDS. Other guys other guys can take care of that, right? When it matters, Schwarber's going to come out and just hit absolute tank shots. He did it last year. He hit, like you said, no home runs in the wild card last year and no home runs in the NLDS last year. Hit all of his 6 home runs in either the NLCS and the World Series. I believe 4 of his home runs came in the NLCS.
It's incredible. It's not a tone setter just for game 1. That's a tone setter for the entire series.
And when this lineup gets Schwarber back, like we talked about how not everyone's clicking right now. Alec Boehm's struggling. Bryson Stott's struggling. Rojas, even with the hit tonight, he's been
I thought he actually had a couple good at bats because
did.
I was seeing that with Rojas.
He hit the
like,
ball
man,
hard.
this guy. So he hit the ball hard his last at bat, and I thought it was actually a really good hit. By the way, 610-784-2088. Your reactions for today's game. I'm sure excited. I'm sure a little bit nervous after Kimbrel going in, but 610-784-2088. Hell of a birthday for Bryce. Yeah, I would imagine not too bad. A couple of RBIs.
He said he wants to play on his birthday. And there you go. Yeah. He plays on his birthday.
He absolutely delivered. That's a heck of a celebration, though. Blowing out the candles.
That is a good
Blowing out the candles for 31. Heck of a celebration. Bryce has got it down. But the lineup, they're mashing, they're hitting home runs. And the good thing is, if you hit home runs in the postseason, you're most likely going to win series.
Correct.
And if you out homer the other team like they have, you're going to most likely win series. But is there any concern at all? This lineup had many opportunities. This game probably should have been over by, the 4th, 5th inning? Because they had many opportunities. They had bases loaded opportunities with 1 outs. All these chances and weren't able to capitalize on most of them. Is there any concern through game 1 after that? Bryce is saying no. You're not concerned at all about any of this stuff.
I don't know how you guys are like. Did we watch the same game? How are you even concerned one bit with this squad right now? I don't know if they're going to lose again. 7 straight from here on out. 7 straight.
Hit the sports books.
Okay.
Hit the sports
books. There it is. Sean Bryce. They're not losing again.
These are the types of runs when these teams get on that you just got to you give it up to the moment, right? Like they're a special squad. Like we can go back in time. I often reference what the Nationals did that year when they won the World Series. They were just unconscious as a dog. You can go to the Cubbies, out of baseball. Look at the Eagles in 2017. It's just like you get that feeling like this team right here, they ain't losing. Again, I'm joking when I say that they're going to run the next 7 straight. They're not losing. They're not losing to the Diamondbacks. Hell no. No. And tomorrow, Kelly's coming in. I caught an interview with him on MLB Network a little earlier today, and he had something to say about the city of Philadelphia. His own man used to work here. And he's like, yeah, he's not flying across the country to come here. Something about how bad the city is or something like that. Hey, let's go. Line them up. Game 2. Bring them on. Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead. So I will say, because these problems happened last year too. It's not like I remember that Phillies run and everything seemed perfect, but there were still errors. There were still base running mistakes. All the things that we're seeing, I think, last year and in the regular season and in the regular season this year, they somehow, and I guess this is what home runs fix. Home runs just fix everything. Like, I guess that's the moral of the story here. These are all the issues that lead the Phillies not to be with the Braves in the NL East. It's errors, it's bad base running mistakes, not hitting with runners in scoring position. Yet it just seems like in the playoffs they can just mash their way through it and brute force their way through it. So I mean, I think you're right, Bryce. It is something that concerns me sometimes because these games get very tight and the margins are very thin, and when you're not capitalizing on every opportunity you get, it concerns me. But then again, when you have Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, and Trey Turner and Schwarber brute forcing their way
1
through
9. 1 through 9.
And I don't just hitting home runs will never concern me. What will concern me eventually is when only 3 guys in your lineup are clicking. If you go into the World Series and Boehm is struggling, Stott is struggling, Rojas is struggling. I'd be a little worried. Like I don't want to go into the World Series with just 5 guys in your lineup being able to hit a baseball right now. Because you're gonna, if you get there, you're probably gonna go up against a Rangers team who is absolutely mashing, but they're mashing 1-9, which they're killing you everywhere right now. Whereas right now the Phillies are killing you pretty top heavy, other than Castellanos, who's backs deep in the lineup. But as long as the whole lineup gets clicking, right? And Bryson Stott will. He always finds the contact. He's not going to be hitting 400-foot home runs, but he's going to find the contact. It's just the matter of consistency, right? It's because if those home runs do start to come back a little bit, which, right, I don't think they're going to average 4 home runs for the rest of the playoffs. I sure hope they will, but that is a lot to ask of them. Listen, I mean, until I see it, hopefully they don't, right? But there's a very good chance they won't hit 4 home runs every game for the rest of the playoffs. So once that happens, you just got to hope that the lineup itself overall stays consistent.
I think the one thing I feel great about this series is the Phillies pitching. Absolutely. I think the 3 runs for Diamondbacks are misleading. They were overwhelmed in every single way.
One of them was the Dominguez error as well. Yep. So realistically, that's a 5-2 game. Take away that throwing error. And the Wheeler, the Wheeler home run, like, barely got it. Like, it's not.
But that's 1 of 4 hits, though. Like, we're not talking about a lot of contact. One of those hits was a bloop single a broken bat single beginning of the game, a couple of walks. But it's not like the Diamondbacks hit anything that hard. Just the home run, and the home run barely got out. So I think the Diamondbacks lineup, we were talking about this, they didn't really face great pitching against the Dodgers. And now they go to the Phillies, and I think every single one of those guys, Dominguez, even Alvarado, even Craig Kimbrell, didn't do that bad, just the 1 walk. And then Zach Wheeler all overwhelmed that Diamondbacks lineup. I do not think Arizona's lineup is cut for this.
No, I do not think. I'll tell you where I stand right now. I'm firing up DraftKings and I'm throwing a wager in for game 2. Minus 155 for Nola right now. No question.
I think Nola's going to be the same way.
What's minus 1.5 at right now? I'm going to fire on that.
Plus 136.
Merrill Kelly's not coming into Citizens Bank Park and winning a game.
I
pull my
after he says that.
Merrill Kelly is not coming into Citizens Bank Park and winning a baseball game. Yeah, it's not happening.
And what happened last year? Aaron Nola, the last 2 games, or at least the last 2 series, didn't pitch as well in the first 2. That's really good competition they were facing, though. They went from the Braves to the Padres to the Astros.
Nola's
like
different.
They're right. But Nola,
this Padres lineup matches way. That Padres lineup last year matches way more than this Diamondbacks lineup. I think Nola
still is going to be overwhelming for that Arizona lineup. If especially if he's throwing 95 again, if he's throwing with that velocity, the Diamondbacks have no shot at this.
They're an off-speed hitting team too. That's been they've been hitting a ton of curveballs. It's just been their thing throughout these first 2 series.
Yeah, so I was kind of stunned. The Diamondbacks early in this game, they wanted no parts of Wheeler. Why it was immediate. I could not understand. Wheeler's pounding the strike zone, and these guys are just watching it.
Yes, I mean, you led off the game with a Corbin Carroll single, and then Zach Wheeler retired 15 straight.
Yeah. And I think even the announcer said it in the first inning. Like, what are these guys waiting for? Like, it's all there, and then they get behind the count, and then they're swinging at the pitches.
They let Wheeler get comfortable. Like,
yeah, I could not understand it. And then you get yourself in a bad count, and then Wheeler's throwing these sinkers into your hands, and you don't have a shot at getting any of those.
You rarely do have a shot against Wheeler.
He was fantastic tonight. 610-784-2088 is the number to call in if you want to give us any of your thoughts, how you're feeling. Any concerns? Feeling just excited, ecstatic? Are you betting the Phillies tomorrow? Is it a run line? Is it a Nola masterclass tomorrow? Shout out to Beef. I know he's going to be on the Nola masterclass.
Beef.
How far are we going in tomorrow, Bryce? Are we going into? Are we still going home run bets? Because the one thing that's hitting right now for all of us is if you have bet Castellanos, Bryce Harper, and now adding in Kyle Schwarber home run bets, you're cashing pretty
everybody good. Just put Nick Castellanos.
These home run bets are ridiculous.
Just put Castellanos, Harper, Turner over 1.5 bases in a parlay and fire your life savings on it. And I swear, I swear it hits
responsibly.
It hits every game, man.
Let me put an asterisk on that.
Responsibly.
Yes, your life savings.
Responsible life savings.
The good thing for me is I don't have any life savings, so I can't do that.
I'd say that where I'm at right now, of course, I'll be a whole different ballgame tomorrow as I'm heading to the game. So, but yeah, like right now, the way I would see it is, I think we're still going to see some bombs. Will we see 4 home runs tomorrow? I don't know. Again, these guys are just so dialed in, and it's such a special moment down there at the ballpark. You hear how everybody's ranting and raving about it all nationally, and it's sending shockwaves through the locker room of how crazy it is and how special of an environment it is. So, it's going to raise everybody's play up just a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if Harper goes yard again. Harper total bases. I'm on that train, and Castellanos continues to swing a hot bat. So until he, knock on wood, I'm not going to say understand, just goes the opposite way. Let's put it that way. I'm going to continue to fire on him. We'll look at the team total. We'll see where that is at right now. Again, I just put out the number as far as what the numbers were.
While you're looking for that, the Diamondbacks manager just said that he doesn't think Zach Gallen was trying to throw the pitches where they were landing. Interesting quote there. That's not a I don't know how that works.
I have no idea what that. I have no idea
where the ball ended up and into the seats. Is that what he means?
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah, that's got to be the answer.
He doesn't know. He doesn't.
I mean,
have any
I would
answers.
That
sounds like a press conference of a manager that knows he is overwhelmed.
I would hope that Gallen wasn't trying to throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right down the plate to Kyle Schwarber on the first pitch of the game.
So I will update one thing. We do have the championship odds for the World Series. Rangers still the favorite at +115. The Phillies now +145. And with the way this series is going to go, I imagine that number is just going to get lower until we finally get into that Texas and potentially Texas and Phillies matchup. I can't say Texas. Houston still has a chance? ? But I will ask as well, who is the NLCS MVP after one? Is it worth? Because it's probably going to be Bryce Harper, the favorite, I imagine.
Yeah.
Because he had 2 RBIs. He had the home run. He had the birthday celebration. That's going to have something to do with it. But he is right now the favorite. I mean, imagine when those numbers come out. Is there going to be anyone? Dark horse, I know I gave Brandon Marsh. He looked fine, had a walk, had a hit. So he was certainly involved. The other ones we threw out there were Kyle Schwarber because of what he's going to do. And I think you threw out Trey Turner. No, you threw out Harper for this one, and then Trey Turner the next one.
I said Harper and Stott. But I mean,
But right now it's looking like Harper,
right? There was no true like standout play tonight that would like sway you to a certain side. Harper's been playing how he's been playing. You give it to Harper, right? You give it to the face. We've always talked about if the league is able to give a trophy to the face of their league, they're going to do it. So they're going to give.
What does Wheeler do next? That's the only question. 6 innings. Yeah. I don't think it's enough. But
if Wheeler get back on the mound,
exactly.
That's the tough part.
Does Wheeler even get another start?
Because they're going to go 4 deep in the rotation. They're going to go because they're already planning.
Do they?
That's the thing. If there is one game for Arizona and they go, and if Wheeler, dominates in that game, it could be close.
Wheeler goes out and throws.
But
if
they ended in 4, it's going to be Walker or Sanchez on the mound in that game. It's not going to be.
If they sweep the Diamondbacks, they go 2 to open and 2 in Arizona on a day in a Friday night game. This place is going to be ridiculous over the weekend, getting ready for a World Series. You think there's a chance in hell they would lose to the Rangers after getting everybody fired up? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I would like to believe that I just think the Diamondbacks are seeing the ball really well as well. They showed you that they think they outscored both teams that they went up against with the Brooker and the Dodgers like 33-11, something like that. So they can get hot one game. Could very well happen in Arizona. We know the ball flies out of the yard there. But look, game 2 tomorrow, no doubt about it in my mind. Phillies are going to win that game. They're going to be up 2-0 ahead in Arizona.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that they don't, because Aaron Nola is great at Citizens Bank Park. We know that. That's the easy one. Again, I think you mentioned all those numbers against the other teams in the postseason that the Diamondbacks have gone up against. It's not been pitching like this. Even Aaron Nola is on a completely different level than some of the other guys that they were throwing out there. And, Kershaw's one of the best pitchers I've ever seen in my lifetime. The stuff that he had in game 1 wasn't nearly as close to what Aaron Nola is going to have in game 2. Aaron Nola's velocity is up. He figured something out, which is amazing, right? That Aaron Nola was able to figure whatever the heck it was out with his arm slot in the last month of the season for his velocity to just jump up as much as it did. He's going to be unhittable, I think, tomorrow. And we see a similar game. The only chance the Diamondbacks have of scoring runs is most likely the Phillies doing what they did, giving up base runners because of errors, stupid bloop hits, walks, things like that. They're going to have to hand the Diamondbacks runs in the way that they did in this game. They're not going to do that every game, though. And outside of that, I just don't see how the Diamondbacks come up with much hard contact in this. Now, maybe the Aaron Nola home run problem comes up in this game, because we know, as Brace has said, Arizona's lineup can hit. So maybe the home run problems we can worry about, but I think that goes away with his fastball that good. His fastball is the one that's hittable. And if his fastball is going 94, 95, it's not going to be hit. So I just see this Arizona lineup struggling.
Yeah. All I know is Sarah Langs is spitting right now on the timeline. First of all, she put out the fewest full innings trailing through first 7 games of single postseason. The Phillies have only trailed in 2 innings this whole run so far. There's only been one other team through 7 games that had less. That was the Rangers as
this
well.
season.
The Rangers this year. Wow, that's crazy. But it dates all the way back to 07 with the Rockies with 4. So give you a little feedback on
that is an incredible number. Yeah. By the way, we are how many games through this? We're in the NLCS through game 1, and the Phillies have trailed 1 inning. One inning this entire postseason. 2 innings. No, 2 innings. The Rangers winning, but still, correct. 2 innings is dominance. Yeah. That's start to finish dominance.
The inning, and it was literally the singular inning they lost in Atlanta.
That 1 inning.
The 9th inning in Atlanta. That's an unbelievable.
That's why I can't. That's why I can't do this whole thing of
that is incredible.
The worst teams in Major League Baseball winning. I don't know, man. Phillies and Rangers just seem to have an abundance of talent, and they're just dominating everybody.
I mean, Phillies-Rangers legitimately could be one of the best World Series in a while.
I think that is an underrated World Series. By the way, the Texas crowd, too, is going to be
great,
rocking.
Dude.
They're going to be rocking against
I don't want to get crazy ahead of ourselves, right? But that is going to be...
With Texas, I think you can get ahead of yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
They're just flat
out
Brace.
better.
Look at Brace on the stream with the ring finger.
Ring me. 7 more. Wait till the overalls come in Thursday night when I'm in studio. The overalls are on their way.
How many times do you think somebody with maybe one too many beverages accidentally puts up the middle finger instead of the ring?
Exactly. I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Did you see the picture when I think it was Strider was walking off the mound? There's about 40 dudes that were doing the ring finger, but about 30 of them weren't doing the ring finger.
And I'm sure he only saw one thing.
Yeah. No, he didn't think it was the ring finger.
This is an amazing run, and it's so much fun to just kick back and be able to enjoy these games and just know that offense is going to punish the opposing pitcher. So, Merrill Kelly, good luck. I just am so impressed right now. Like I said, I know there needs to be a little bit more contribution from some of the other guys like Stott and of course Bohm. They're definitely struggling to find a way, but
I know Bohm, and the thing is the runners in scoring position thing's a problem. Who was the one that fixed that all season? It was Bohm. Bohm was the best one with runners in scoring position. So you really, you're very much missing that guy who can make great contact, that can, hit for extra base hit. He doesn't hit necessarily for a ton of power. He had definitely some more power this year, but he's your RBI guy. He's your base hit guy. And that's certainly been something that they're missing.
It's now getting to a point too where like these pitchers that come into Citizens Bank specifically, they have to be perfect. Like it's not a fact where they can get away with throwing a few bad pitches here and there. Every bad pitch that a pitcher is throwing in Citizens Bank right now is going 400 feet into the stands. It's not even like that is legitimately what's happening. They are taking every single mistake. And they are putting the baseball into the stands every single time. And I saw not even in an over exaggeration. Like that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, and I saw Trevor May post a thread on how to stop Bryce Harper. There's some things out there and things in his swing that you can attack. But then he puts at the end of the thread, the hard thing about that in the postseason is you're not hitting your pitches like that. You are not pinpointing your pitches unless you are Zach Wheeler and have ice in your veins. You're probably going to miss a few. And that's the thing that you're right on. I think the Phillies are punishing almost every mistake that's made.
I mean,
every single mistake pitch that's made, especially with Zach Gallen's fastball got crushed today.
Spencer Strider back in the Braves series.
Yeah.
Spencer Strider hasn't had a pitch hit for a home run all season over 99 miles an hour. He located it bad to Castellanos, and Castellanos put it 420 into the stands. Like, you cannot make a mistake. And it's not even about throwing a bad pitch. Like, you can throw these guys curveballs. Just don't throw them over the plate. Like, do not accidentally throw one curveball over the plate because it is going into the stands every time. And if not, it's going 100 miles an hour into the grass in the outfield. It's unbelievable. Like, this is like no joke. It's the home runs is one thing, but the offense in general right now in this playoff run, like this is like historical stuff that we're seeing.
I can't believe in these moments. Baseball's hard. Baseball is one of the hardest sports in the world.
It's the hardest sport in the world.
In the last 2 postseasons, Zach Wheeler and Bryce Harper are playing Little League.
And
these are ridiculous numbers.
The hardest thing to do in all sports is hit a professional baseball pitcher.
And they're doing
Bryce
it in
Harper
big
makes
moments.
it look like he's hitting it off a tee.
I mean, these numbers that Harper's put up in the last 2 years in the postseason aren't real. That doesn't happen. There's not many guys over a span of two playoff seasons. And then also in what? Now they're in there. They went 1, 2, 3, 4. They're now in the third series this year. So in 7 series that he's played with the Phillies, he's hitting that well. That's not real. It's like nobody does that.
It's like legendary numbers.
It is. I mean, it's
like we call people legends, right? Like we just throw around that term legend and GOAT a lot, right? Like Bryce Harper is putting up like legendary statistics that nobody in the entire Major League Baseball history has ever done.
And it's only going to be considered legendary if he finishes it. Like they have to finish it for this to be.
They have to win 7 more games.
And complete what is, I think, 2 of the best postseason performances I've seen from one single player in my life.
I've been saying it. Like I said it since I can't remember exactly what day it was, but it was a huge. Oh, it was Harper's 3. It was number 300 for Harper. When Bryce Harper wins a ring, I think he's the most loved athlete in the history of this city. The history of the city.
Jeez.
All 4 sports.
I mean, I think he already is, but once you get
that ring on your finger,
you get that ring and there's the trophy.
2-time MVP.
It's a lot different.
300 home runs, multi-time Silver Slugger, World Series winner.
That's all. That's the only thing this guy's missing right now.
If he wins the World Series, he's probably the World Series MVP.
This guy is missing one thing, and that really is the ring. Everything else has been accomplished. It's again one of the greatest postseason feats I've ever seen from a single player. And you know what? Nick Castellanos is stepping up big time and looking great. Wheeler is as well. But baseball is easy for those two, and it's not easy for a lot of others. All right, final thoughts as we wrap things up here. If you do want to get your thoughts in, 610-784-2088 is the number to call. Brace, I'll let you go since you can go first, since you're the oldest one on this panel, so I know you want to get some rest, you know, with being a dad of a kid there and everything.
She just went down.
Did she?
Yeah, just went down
right now.
Seventh inning, I was able to get her in bed quick. And
perfect.
All right. She got 6 innings in.
That's 7 innings is a good time for that. Then you can relax as much as you can for what's going to be the 2 hardest innings of the game.
Does she enjoy watching the games? She watched
she was watching Dora. She was watching Dora. She likes the Fanatic. She likes the Fanatic. But, you know.
But Dora's still around. Good for Dora. Longevity for Dora.
Dora's available on Netflix, which is old school Dora. All right. That's all I know. But yeah, she was sitting next to me. Anyways, look, final thoughts are, they showed a graphic about what the Phillies have gotten since they signed, and it's just amazing. Castellanos, Turner, Harper. They also talked about the amount of money that was being spent to Turner and Harper, over $200 million. And, I know that sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, but you look around some of the other contracts that are out there. The Phillies spent wise, got the right guys that would be successful in this city, and they've been thriving since they've shown up. It's a special time. This team has the look. It's had the vibe for a little while now since they hit the gas pedal in July and started turning things around here. Of course, September came, and that's when everybody started focusing on the playoff matchups. I was looking at some of the old videos we put out a couple weeks ago. Bring on Zach Gallen, I think I said, because remember, we thought we were going to take on them in the first round. Yeah, bring them all on. My final thought is Merrill Kelly.
Dynasty run. I mean, this is Bryce Harper numbers that Dora's putting up at this point.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. I will just say this much, that tomorrow, Merrill Kelly, good luck. That's all. Good luck. And with
ain't easy playing in the jungle.
I sign up.
Merrill we like around here.
Merrill.
Final thoughts from you, Luke. Thank you, Bryce.
Don't let the Phillies win game 2. Because Phillies win game 2. They